Hey guys, and welcome back to A&J Education YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the topic of gap years, deferred entry, and basically having a break in your studies or before your studies for whatever reason. So if you're considering that, or you're just interested in the subject in general, keep watching because this is going to be very useful to you. All right, guys, let's dive in. So today we're very fortunate to be joined by Peter. Hi, Peter.
Hey.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So Peter, as I understand it, please correct me, but you, following from your undergraduate at Bristol in anthropology, and before you started at Oxford, you had a 2-year break in your studies.
Yeah, that's right.
So, what happened in those 2 years?
So I had, when I was finishing my undergrad, I knew that I wanted to go into masters, but I think I just needed a bit more time to kind of work through some things first. I think at Bristol there was a lot going on. It was the final year. In my final year, it was when COVID hit, so it was really hard to, just struggled quite a lot. I think because I just pulled everything into work, and so it was quite hard to go from that and to remember different parts of myself, I guess. So basically, I sort of deferred my entry on the basis of stress, and it was giving me quite a lot of anxiety, I guess. The thought of studying and just my relationship with, I guess like work, and generally felt I needed some time out, and felt lucky enough to be able to, do that for myself and not have to just go straight into work or further study. So I thought it seemed like the right choice. Yeah.
So after you graduated from Bristol, you waited a year before making an application for Oxford?
Actually, so...
Or you applied straight after?
Yeah. So I waited a year, but in Oxford terms, that only means, so I finished in September, and so by October, I was already applying for Oxford.
But for the following...
Yeah.
Not for the following year, but for the 2 years, because you applied deferred entry?
Yeah, so I applied for initially I just applied for the next year, but then felt that I wanted an extra year, and that on that basis it was slightly more for finance, but it still was related to the stress and kind of not feeling like I was sort of ready and to go into it.
Yeah. And it sounds like, correct me, but in your case ended up being a fantastic decision because you were able to save up some money and take care of yourself, and work through personal things, and now with sort of full energy and some money, you can fully commit yourself to your studies and do justice. Yeah,
definitely. I think I do definitely feel almost like a mature student now. I feel a lot less sort of attached maybe to the academic side of things. I'm still really passionate about it and I really care about it, but that kind of ego attachment isn't there as much. And I think that in terms of being productive and getting work done, I think that's really helpful. There was something else you said as well.
Yeah, no, I was saying it sounds like basically for this break give you time to sort out your personal stuff, but also save up some money so you can study in a more focused way without worrying about other.
Yeah, I often heard lecturers in undergrad talking about the importance of just making sure you take a break in your terms, and having those 2 years out, I really they're talking sense. It makes a lot of sense to rest. I feel well rested and quite ready to just knuckle down and work. Yeah,
and the guys, the well rested doesn't mean that you're sitting on the beach taking drugs for 2 years. You can be working, you can be doing work and travel. You can be taking care of family, whatever. So you need to spend those 2 years productively, but resting from the pressures of academia. So even if you're working, but you can still be sort of recharging your batteries in terms of.
Yeah. Just to clarify, I wasn't spending 2 years traveling around, but I did a tiny bit. But yeah, a lot of it was work, and I think just occupying your mind in a slightly different ways was personally for me super helpful. Yeah.
100%. And there is not. I remember when I was at school, my there was a lot of pressure not to take a gap year, after school to go straight into university, and I think they can be harder for engineering students or science students because universities don't like those students taking taking a gap as much. But did you find the same in humanities? Like, did it affect your chances at all?
I don't think so. I think if anything, well, it's sort of neither here nor there. I think if you use that time wisely, you can probably strengthen your CV or standing with when applying. But yeah, it kind of, I never really had that pressure. I think going from, because I didn't think I was going to go to university when I left college anyway. So also had a year out then, but I was just going into work by then, and yeah. So
Nice.
Depends.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. And so you mentioned you went to college. So did you go to sixth form before university, or you went?
Yeah. Well, it was like a college, but yeah, same thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you do A levels there? Or did you do BTECs or?
Yeah, I did a few BTECs.
Mm-hmm.
So I did two BTECs and then 2 A levels.
Okay.
A lot of them were music. So yeah, I guess it's quite it might be interesting for people to know that you can like study BTECs and then still end up at Oxford. Like
Yeah. Guys, there is more than one route to get into get into where you want to be, and not every route is just A to B. Sometimes you have to go through C and D, and but those experiences generally enrich us, but we don't necessarily always see that at the time.
Yeah, you shouldn't feel pressured by that either. I feel like there's a lot of stigma around the different types of qualifications, but if you can build it towards a good narrative about why you should be at that institution, then it really helps.
Yeah, definitely. And guys, just final sort of tip from me, if that's okay, is to again using the word you use, narrative, to to really tie in all your experiences into how everything you've done before brought you to what you want to do now. Because that can really sell. Facts tell. They can tell they can tell your the percentage of what you get on the exams. They can tell your attendance percentage again from your transcript, but it's stories that sell. So the story of why I'm here, why I want to do this, how my experience shaped me. That's what's interesting. That's what the admissions officers at Oxford or anywhere really gonna would want to read.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Well, Peter, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Guys, if you if you are in your studies and you feel that you're getting burnt out, or you feel that a break can be useful, remember that there is more than one path to to get to where you want to be, and sometimes taking a break strategically can be a great decision, because it allows you to pivot to something else, recharge your batteries, consider all the options, and top universities will still be here if you and you can prepare a strong application a year later, 2 years later. So that's never a problem. Don't feel pressurized by your school, your family, your peers into just following it on a linear path, because it's not right for everyone, because everyone's different. So bear that in mind. But for now, thanks Peter. All the best to you guys. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel, because we publish videos like this every week. And if you ever have a question, feel free to tweet me on Twitter. That's where I'm most likely to see your message and reply. So if you have a question there, I'm very active on Twitter. Do check it out there. All the best for now, and good luck.